My name's Andrew Selby, and these are 7 questions you need to ask before booking a wedding photographer. Number 1, how many weddings have you photographed? The best way to gauge how experienced a wedding photographer is to ask them how many weddings they photographed. A beginner is going to have less than 10 under their belt. A more experienced photographer is going to have around 50. And then if they've shot more than 200 weddings, they're going to be able to photograph a wedding in their sleep. Now, an inexperienced wedding photographer isn't necessarily going to be a bad photographer. And if you give them a chance, you might be able to get your wedding photos at a discount. But it does come with some risks. Wedding photography is a very specialized type of photography, and there are so many moments that can be missed if a photographer isn't prepared. So it's best to hire a photographer that at least has some wedding photography experience, even if it's just second shooting. Number 2, how much of your portfolio is styled shoots? A styled shoot is a portrait session of 2 people, sometimes hired models, that are dressed in wedding clothes, but it's not on a real wedding day. Now, a lot of wedding photographers use styled shoots to add to their portfolio, whether it's because they haven't shot a ton of weddings themselves or if they haven't shot a specific kind of wedding before. Styled shoots aren't bad, and they can still show what a photographer can do, but it is best to get clarity on whether a photographer's portfolio has photos from real wedding days or not. Number 3, what is included in your packages? When you're deciding on a wedding photographer, it's best to get clarification on exactly what is included in the wedding packages. You can ask them if the digital files come with printing rights, if you're getting a wedding album, how many images or pages come included with the wedding album. Just so you guys are both on the same page and there's not going to be any surprises after the wedding. Number 4, what is your shooting style? Some photographers like to hang back and kind of stay out of the way, while other photographers are a little bit more involved and will kind of set up more shots. Neither one is good or bad. You just want to make sure that your photographer is more in line with your values and how you see your wedding day going. Number 5, how do you approach preparation for the wedding day? There are a lot of moving parts to a wedding day, and asking them how they prepare is going to give you an insight on exactly how prepared this photographer is going to be come your wedding day. If a photographer goes over your wedding timeline with you a couple weeks before the wedding and asks you for a shot list and specific things that you want, that photographer is going to be a lot more prepared than a photographer that just kind of shows up day of without any of that and just kind of wings it. Number 6, have you photographed a wedding like ours before? Each kind of wedding comes with its own set of expectations and limitations. A Catholic wedding in a dark church is going to be very different than an adventure elopement on the top of a mountain. Now, a great photographer is going to be able to take amazing photos in almost any situation, but a photographer that has photographed your type of wedding or has been to your specific venue before is going to be a lot more prepared in knowing what kind of gear to bring, and they're going to know the best spots for photos. Number 7, ask yourself how much you value wedding photography. This is the most important question you can ask yourself before even looking at wedding photographers. If you really value wedding photography, you're going to want to find a photographer that is really experienced at shooting weddings just like yours and is going to go the extra mile in making sure that they are prepared for your wedding day. If wedding photography is a little bit lower on your list, then you might look at hiring someone with a little less experience so you can save some money. But just remember, the 2 things that you're going to have after your wedding day is a new spouse and your wedding photos. Those were the 7 questions you should ask before you book your wedding photographer. Now, if you stick around, you're going to hear how I would answer those questions as a professional wedding photographer. I photographed over 50 weddings and have over a decade of professional photography experience. None. Everything in my portfolio are from real couples on real wedding days. I tend to hang back a lot more during the ceremony and reception. Your guests came to see you get married, and I don't want to get in the way of that. During the getting ready, family formals, and couple portraits, I'm going to be a lot more involved. Most people don't know how to pose, so I will kind of show you exactly what I want you to do. This also helps those portraits go by a lot quicker so that you and your guests can get back to the party. I want to make sure I'm as prepared as possible. So about a month before your wedding, we're going to go through your wedding timeline. I'm going to ask for shot lists for family formals to make sure that goes by as quick as possible. And I'm going to try to learn the names of all the important people at your wedding. there's a good chance I've photographed many different kinds of weddings, and I'm confident in my skills that I can create beautiful wedding images in almost any situation. Now, I really value wedding photography, so when my wife and I got married, our wedding photographer was the thing we spent the most amount of money on in our wedding. Our day went by so fast, it was all just a blur, but we are so thankful that we have really great wedding images and a beautiful wedding album that we can share with our kids one day and really tell the story of our wedding. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be coming out with even more videos to help you plan your wedding. And if you want to learn more about what I do, you can check out my website at andrewselbyphotography.com.